Welcome to my Atari ST nostalgia trip, and in this video I will have a look back at a game I cannot believe I didn't cover yet. It is one of the classics, released in 1988 and retracted short after thanks to Nintendo. It's the great Giana sisters, and there's not much to say about this game. It's basically Super Mario but with girls, and I don't care about that because even today I have never played Super Mario and I probably never will as well, so that's a confession to start this video. And I say, now it's time to get to killing cute monsters and collecting diamonds. And of course I am playing the hard drive version of the game because of the nice box art title screens. But I will not be playing the enhanced version of the game. This is just the original STFM conversion. And some people will probably hate me for it because it has some shortcomings. But this is the version I used to play back in 1988. So this is the version I should play in my nostalgic look back. And after finishing loading, we get into the title screen with some ridiculously fast horizontal scrolling, which is also the only scrolling in the game, and it's going at 16 pixels, 16 pixel steps, I think. And of course we have some really nice music. The sound was done by Jochen Hippel, and Jochen Hippel was a musician who was the best at drums on the ST sound chip. And that gives his music a very distinct sound, and I have always really liked it. I mean, especially also his later work when he started doing other effects too, it's absolutely amazing. But listen to those drums. And of course I will give my opinion on the total lack of scrolling in the rest of the game, because I do have an opinion about it and some people will not like me for it, but anyway, we start playing. And in my intro I said I never played Super Mario, but I sort of did, because by playing this game you basically play Super Mario because the game is such an exact copy. I mean, even the very first upgrade is the one that makes you stronger. In Mario I think it just makes him bigger. I actually prefer the approach they gave here. They gave her just a more rebellious haircut. And now I can fire bullets, which I also like. Yeah, and the controls of this game actually, I mean, I also saw during my test run already, the controls feel so natural. Right when you start playing, it immediately feels... I mean, of course, it's a classic platformer, so it immediately very clear what you have to do. But also the controls, they feel very natural. Even if I am struggling quite a bit with Giana's inertia. So, yeah, you will probably see me dying in some really dumb ways. But the first thing I'm going to do in level 2 is play it the speedrunner's way, which is get up into the level and just walk to the right as fast as possible. And don't bother about anything else, which is the fastest way to get to this level. Which is very much not the smartest way to get to this level, because you are actually missing out on quite a few upgrades. You get quite a big time bonus in return, but it's something I remember from back in the day. And I just thought I'd do it and then go to level... level 3. But yeah, you will see me struggling with the timing of the jumps several times, so I might just walk into some gorge forgetting to jump. And I think here there's some hidden warp even in the level, which I'm not going to use because it will warp me to level 6 and just make my life really difficult. Yeah, and with these jumps you have to be a bit careful. So it's one of the reasons why I'm actually playing the unlimited lives version. So when I die, I don't immediately lose all of my upgrades, and I also sort of have an option to explore the levels a bit. And I'm not using my weapon. I upgraded my weapon to one with homing bullets, and I'm not using them, which is not very smart. And that's probably because I'm very focused on not dying too often in a very dumb way. But yeah, those were the first 3 levels, and I'm already... This brings back so many memories. It's incredible how many memories this brings back. And of course every fourth level is a sort of bonus level. I mean, not quite a bonus level, but it looks a bit like it. And with some difficult jumps you have to navigate. And this is the one with the big end at the end. Which, yeah, it took me some time to beat in the beginning. Of course I remember how to do it now, so I just hope I don't get too nonchalant and too sloppy, because yeah, that's what happens when you have cheats enabled. You tend to oh, I jumped too late! I was getting cocky and sloppy. I'm such an idiot. Well, serves me right to okay, now I'm trying to go too fast. So as you can see, this is only level 4 out of 32, and it actually gets difficult quite fast. So you really have to time your jumps. Whoa, get away from me, ant. Oh, I almost got hit by it again. And I was almost screwed over by the flip screen. Because the screen flipped in a position where I actually didn't want it to flip. I didn't have a lot of room to actually walk back and avoid the ant. So I couldn't give myself any speed to really jump it. So yeah, there are some compromises to deal with the choice of the flip scrolling. So how bad is it really? Because that's of course something that everybody wants to know. And I will say this game is from 1988, and on the ST they had to make a choice, because the ST did not have any support for hardware scrolling, of course. So they had to make a choice, because in this case you can see the gameplay is actually very smooth, and I think the gameplay is actually running at 50 Hz. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's running at 50 Hz, because yeah, it doesn't have to do that much movement in the screen, and I almost missed that upgrade. And if they had done like all the scrolling with all the trickery that was required to do it, much of which was not very much known by 1988, mind you, but the frame rate of the game would probably have dropped. It would probably have dropped to 25 or even 17 frames per second. And I know there were later games that actually did the scrolling pretty well. I think even maintaining 25 frames per second, but at least 17. But they were mostly a little bit jerky. But yeah, this is 1988, and most STs did not have a blitter, so blitters were not common. So even adding blitter support didn't make that much sense. It would have been quite a big investment to make. It would have been quite a big investment to make, and yeah, it still would not have been as smooth probably. So I can actually understand the choice they made for the flip scrolling, because it actually kept the gameplay really smooth, even if compromised in some ways. The gameplay itself is actually a lot smoother because of it, and I think I can actually live with that choice. I think I prefer the smoothness of the gameplay over a game that was scrolling, but then would have been a lot more jerky. So, I mean, yeah, there are some annoying things that I mentioned about the flip screen. It's not optimal, but it's also not that bad. It's not so bad that it's deserving of all the hate it's getting nowadays. And of course some people say, yeah, but there is now an enhanced version for the ST with super smooth scrolling. And I would say, well, yes and no. Because it's an enhanced version for the STE. And the STE had hardware scrolling. And yes, this game plays super smooth with hardware scrolling on the STE, which is really nice. But now many people, when I see a YouTube video of that one, they immediately start shouting like, yeah, this is how the game should have been right from the start. Well, you can say that, as I forget to jump and fall down and die. I mean, you could say that, yeah, the game should have been like this from the start, but mind you, this game is from 1987. And The port of the ST for this game is from 1988. And sorry, I had to kill some enemies there. The ST... That was a dumb mistake. So, the ST port of this game came out in 1988, but the Atari STE came out in 1989, so a year after this game was released. So there was no way for them to actually put this hardware scrolling support in the game. And I think before people shout things like that, they should have actually do a little bit more research instead of just complaining, because it's not fair on the programmers. There was absolutely no way for them to make the game like the conversion, the optimized version was in 2014. It was just impossible, because the hardware that this was optimized for was just not available. I mean, yes, with many STEs, a Blitter would have been much more common and a Blitter support would have been nice. But in 1988, I'm sorry, they just had to make a choice, one compromise over the other. And it was probably sacrificing either good gameplay or sacrificing the scrolling. They sacrifice the scrolling. I can totally live with it, even if I am compromised in my gameplay by sometimes by the screen not revealing enemies in time, or sometimes flipping a bit too far, so I can't go back to somewhere where I actually would have liked to come back. But yeah, I mean, I will say, back in the day, I really didn't care that much. So as I'm trying to progress, I can tell you for sure, even with unlimited lives enabled, I will not make it past level 32, to level 32, because it'll just take too long and it will just be me for 45 minutes dying in really dumb ways, like I just did there, because I was doubting which block I wanted to land on and I landed right in the middle of them, which is just really dumb, and I did it again. And I think back in the day, I never even got past level 12. Yeah, and these things are really dangerous, because I think you cannot shoot them, you cannot crush them. They are sort of invincible, so yeah, you should really avoid them. See, also my homing bullets don't actually go for these things. So it takes a little bit more patience. Of course, you can't have enough patience, because every level has a timer on it. I mean, I have 58 seconds left. I think I actually got some upgrades with a water drop that helped me protect me against fire, but I'm not sure, so I'm not taking any chances. Yeah, and I think back in the day I got, I don't know, level 12 or something. So this being level 10, I think I will play this level, or at least part of it, and then I will go to a summary. Oh, that was... I took a lot of risk there. That's one of the things from the flip screen. You don't see the enemies coming, or you see them coming very, very late. I took a jump and it was more of a leap of faith, and I don't know how I survived that, and I also don't know how I missed this one. I also like how the sound effect of the bonus is just exactly like in Mario. I mean, it's like they were shouting to Nintendo, come on, sue us. See, here I had to sort of jump about a bit. But this is the end of stage 10. And But yeah, I can really understand why we regard this game as such a classic. I mean, even if the game was legally only for about, what, a month or so? It still seems to have such a big following, and I can really understand why. That is totally justified. I mean, sure, when you want to play this game at a retro gaming party, you should definitely go for the smooth STE enhanced version if you can, because it's absolutely great. But for old time's sake, I would say go and have a little struggle with the original as well, when all your Amiga friends aren't watching, because you like it actually more, you might like it more than you think. And with that, I would like to thank you for watching.